From the Empire State to the Golden Gates, this is Quad Radio USA.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
Now, with all the dirt from the world of ATV motocross and GNCC racing, here's Mr. 10 Seconds, Rodney Tomlin.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Quad Radio, a little on the hit and miss side of things, but I'll tell you what's not missing right now is the start of the 2015 ATV Motocross and GNCC seasons. Hello everyone, I'm Rodney Tomlin, and joining me tonight will be Thomas Brown from the AMA ATV Motocross ranks, and big things already taking place there, and we're going to talk a lot about some neat things that are coming up, as well as what's already taken place. And Thomas, first and foremost, we say good evening to you from, I guess you're at your home down in Texas, I guess, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm in Texas, but I'm actually at Mud Nationals in Jacksonville, Texas. This weekend's the Mud Nationals event, and we got some quads sneaking in here to put on a show in front of 30,000 rednecks, so I'm pretty excited about that. I'm helping Randy Poulter from Extreme Tracks get everything going and get it built so we can promote some stuff and enjoying this Texas weather.
Wow, man, that's pretty awesome, Thomas. I mean, that's another monumental step, and that's something that's been kind of, I guess, been not necessarily kept a secret, but it's been something that has been, I guess, ongoing for the last little bit. It's kind of a select bunch of people that are going to be going, and it's, from what I understand, a showcase event that's going to be put on, an exhibition, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure. I really think it's the biggest thing that we have going in our sport right now. We've had a lot of big things already this year, including Daytona Supercross, which is huge in itself. But honestly, I think this is going to get some more fans. There is roughly 30,000 people that love riding four-wheelers that possibly, and I'm figuring, never seen a quad go down a motocross track. So we're hoping to introduce this to a whole new group of people. It's not going to be near as prestige as Daytona by no means, but hopefully promote our sport in the right eyes and get in front of new people, a new fan base, to say. And
right.
It should be really cool. I'm super stoked on it, and like I said, it's Randy Poulter has put it together. He's the man behind the scenes, and it has been a select few people. I got Chad Weenan and Jeffrey Shelley coming down on the top pros. I've heard a couple Pro-Am guys from the Root River camp that Rich Gillette helped out get here. And we're going to try to put on a really good show, and it's going to be more staged racing than it is just go out and try to win it. It's going to be set up, not Quad War style, though. I mean, I want everybody to be very clear on that. It's not going to be redneck and we're going to be fighting on the side of the track, none of that. But it's going to be, we're going to make sure the racing's close and good.
Wow, that's awesome, man, and I think you're right. I like how you put that. It's not necessarily a prestigious event, but it is a rather monumental event, because whenever you have the opportunity to have 30,000 plus people get a glimpse or look into our world for just a few moments, I think it's a great opportunity. And like you say, it's an opportunity to build a great fan base. And kudos to Randy Poulter for putting this together and having the foresight and seeing something like this happen. I understand that basically this is kind of a brainchild of his to try to expand the sport outside the sport, at the same time trying not to, it's not a lot of money involved, but there's a lot of time and a lot of money involved at the same time. So my hat's off to him, and I really hope this is a home run for the guys, man. That's coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah, it's this weekend, Saturday at 3 o'clock. It's, like I said, I know a lot of people are going to be like, man, why haven't we heard about this? Why haven't y'all been advertising it? We don't have to advertise this event. It's we're not trying to get people that already know about quad racing here. We're trying to get new people into the sport, not on the racing side, but on the fan side. We got to build a fan base. And so Randy's idea is to take the racing to the people and not try to get the people to the racing. And then hopefully after this event, his race is 3 weeks down the road. We'll mention the Kemp race at Underground at his track. It's only an hour and a half from here. And hopefully after we build a fan base here, and they're like, man, this is cool.
Yeah.
They'll come down to Kemp and check out everybody out there, the amateur racing along with the pros and a full gate. And hopefully we'll have a lot more fans after this weekend.
Oh, that would be awesome. I'm sure we'll gain several, and I hope to see that impact the event there in Kemp, Texas. Let's talk a little bit about that, the Underground Motocross. That's going to be round 2 of the ATV Motocross Championship Series. We'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about the already monumental things that have taken place so far this season. But that is the next big thing on the venue as far as ATV Motocross is concerned, and that's kind of a special event for you, just simply because it's back in your home state to have ATV motocross there. It's been a while since the Nationals have been there, and to be able to bring them back to the state, I'm sure is making you feel pretty good.
I'm super pumped on it, and I can't wait for everybody to come ride Underground MX. It's going to be a fun race. It's one of the best growing tracks in the country. I'm going to say it's already one of the best tracks in the country. Everybody, when they get there, they'll understand what I mean. It's going to lend to great racing and huge jumps. And, man, like you said, it's a hometown race for me. I've talked to so many people, like, man, like, so far, it's, 12, 14 hours. I'm like, I hope all y'all know the closest race to me is 12 hours out of this one. The closest race to me is 12 hours, and this one's 2, and I'm pretty stoked on that. I was like, man, I might even drive home and sleep in my own bed every night just because I can.
So how far are you from Underground?
I'm still 2 hours, so I'm probably being a little sarcastic there. But with how far I drive to the rest of them, I could drive back and forth every day, and I still would have leftover hours on the miles on the truck.
You got to appreciate that, man. I'm glad you finally get one close to home because, yeah, I know, man, there's a lot of folks that have to do a lot of traveling, and I just got to say that takes true dedication. There's no doubt about it. I mean, because you add the extra expense of traveling on top of all the other expenses that go in with racing and the time that it takes to do all that traveling, man. I mean, you have wrapped up quite a bit of your life in the ATV National Motocross Championship Series, and hopefully, man, the way things are looking, it's all going to come to fruition and be all well worth it someday.
Yeah, no doubt. I consider myself, whenever I was growing up, and still do, is I was part of the Lucky Sperm Group. So my dad always told me, he said, he's like, don't ever take it for granted. We're lucky that we can do this for you, and I'm still stoked that he can do, and he's still a great part of my program. But luckily, I've made this a career now, so it's I'm not going to say I ever repay him for all the money and time he put into it, but it's made a career out of it, and I think he's pretty stoked on that. So,
yeah,
man, it's great. It's a hometown race. It's a career now, and, man, it's fun.
Dreams are coming true. How old are you, Thomas? 25?
Yep, 25. Nailed on the head. So it's been my 6th year as a pro. I feel like I'm getting old to some of them now, but I still feel young myself. It just, whenever we start throwing numbers out there, I'm like, I'm not to the Natalie point, but I'm not to like the Rastrelli point either. It's like I'm kind of in the middle ground.
Yeah, something that I've noticed, to kind of a sidebar here, though, that I've noticed about this sport in general. When I first started doing this, Thomas, back in the early mid-1990s, the lifespan of a motocross racer, if you were 21 years old, you were old news, man. I mean, at 22, you were retiring and hoping and begging for a job in the industry someplace, and hoping that you were, still in one piece and could walk straight and level and all that good stuff. The thing that I've noticed in the trend, obviously with the advancement of safety and training and everything that goes along with it, is the longevity of careers. And it seems to me that a lot of the true champions aren't really champions and aren't really the true dominant champions and dominating champions until they're starting to reach the maturity years of 25, 30, and even into the early 30s nowadays. It's kind of remarkable how that change has come to pass over the years.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. You think of somebody like Ryan Villapoto on the dirt bike side, retired at 25, or is going to retire at 25, 26, and then you look at me, it's the same age, and granted, I don't have near the income he does, but I'm nowhere near retiring unless I have to. So I plan to keep going, and I feel like I'm nowhere near my peaking point. I feel like there's still tons of good years to come.
Yeah, for sure. And, John Dowd, I think he was one of the guys that kind of proved it on the motorcycle side of things when I don't think he was he was 27 years old or older before he ever started racing professionally. So I think he proved a good point, and I think that you're maturing. And I think you look at Chad, you look at Chris Borch, you look on the GCC side of things, you look at Bill Balance, you look at a lot of these guys, man. I mean, they're not hitting championships until they're reaching their mid 20s, and they're not being dominant in the sport until they're really closer to 30. I think it's pretty amazing, and I hope it's a trend that continues, because it means folks are going to be able to be around for a while. I mean, you got Joe Bird, 42 years old. John Natale will be 40 this year, and both, as well as I do, are definitely capable of winning races, and they are certainly competitive riders. So I think that's a pretty good twist on things, and I think you're right on target, man. I think you're doing just fine.
I appreciate it. Yeah, if you go off Chad's stats, and I think Borch about the same time, 25, 26 is when they started winning. So maybe it's my year, and we'll have a new champion for a few years.
Hey, you never know, man. And if you look at the way the year's starting to shape up already after the first round of Mountain Dew ATV Motocross Championship, and then, of course, the moto from Daytona Supercross can be added into the championship scores this year. I mean, you finished up a second at Georgia this past weekend overall. You took a 4 and a 2 for the overall second, which earned you, I think, a total of 40 points or something like that. You got like 55 points, and if you look at it, you're only 12 points out of the championship right now, and you're in 4th place. That means, to me, looking at that, I know we're only 2 rounds in, but already, man, I mean, I think that's good, because we're seeing a little bit of mix-up in you top 5 or 6 riders, man. Everybody's staying consistent, but it means also at the same time that if it keeps jumbling around like this championship is going to be right down to the wire, possibly.
Oh, for sure. It's if you take the Daytona moto out there where I ended up on my head and had to come back, we'd be sitting second in points and only a few points out of that lead. But we had to put that one in there, of course, and I'm not disappointed in it. I'm hoping that was my bad race, and I was able to recover with many points that did. So it's shaping to be a good year. I mean, I wanted to have the red plate on my bike coming out of Daytona, and Chad didn't, and that was blood in the water. Chad's great and a great friend of mine, but man, it was you could taste it in the water. It's like, oh, he doesn't have it. Like, there's a chance. It's been 3 years since somebody else has had that red plate.
Yeah.
Ever since the opening round of 2012.
Yeah.
I believe Chad has never lost that red plate. Nobody else has seen it. So it's I was hoping to find it, and I'm still hoping to find it, but it was cool to see somebody else get it out.
Yeah.
It's see Chad not have as good friends we are, and me not be the one to take it from him. But like I said, it was blood in the water. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely inspiring, I think, for a lot of folks, man. There's no doubt. Now, we were going to talk about let's talk a little bit about Daytona Supercross before we get into the Mountain Dew ATV Motocross Championship. First and foremost, I want to say thanks to everybody that had anything to do with that. Daytona Motorsports Group, MX Sports, the American Motorcyclists Association, and the All-Terrain Vehicle Association, ATVA. And the fans of Bike Week, the riders that participated. I mean, it was just an amazing event and an amazing venue to be a part of. We built it up and hyped it up as, it was going to be something great. And Thomas, from a rider's standpoint, man, I mean, I know what I felt like rolling into that stadium, and I know what I felt like when I seen those first 4 wheels ever out there on that racetrack. I mean, I know what it felt like to me as somebody that's been in this sport and been working so hard to see it grow and expand and prosper, over time. To see that, man, that just felt like it wasn't a baby step at that point, man. It actually felt like we took a big, giant step that time, for me anyway.
Oh, dude, like I said, it was an incredible event. Prestige is the word I'm going to use on it. It's just to be in that speedway and racing there was an experience of a lifetime. I hope we get to keep doing it, and I hope a few years down the road I'm like, well, it's not that big a deal now. We've done it for 5 years now. As of right now, I don't know if I could ever get that feeling out of there, but I hope that's how good of an impression we made on everybody, and we get to go back. And like you said, there was a lot of people to thank for that, and I see the series moving forward and the sport itself. For us to be in front of that, it was awesome, and to be able to race on it was even better. Those guys that got to go up on the podium, they should feel honored, and I'm sure they do. I felt honored just to be on the track and turning laps.
Yeah, I felt honored to be there just to be a part of it myself. It was a huge honor, and to me, it was a historic day in ATV racing. And from the looks of things, man, I mean, I think it's something like, whatever, but what we all hoped. I think it's something that we're going to see more of in the future. We'll know more, obviously, in the future, but nonetheless, man, it was a great step forward, and we're seeing a lot of that. And another thing that I think is a great step forward, Thomas, if we take into account the ATV Motocross Championship Series this year, from even the professional and the amateur standpoint, we have to look at this as probably being one of the best, if not the best, venue of schedules that we've ever seen, as far as the places that we're going to be going, the tracks, and things of that nature. First and foremost, getting to revisit back there at Lizella, at just outside of Macon. I don't know why they don't call that Macon, but anyway, getting to go back to Itchicony, man. I mean, it's been since 2007 or so, or however long it's been since we've been there. I think it was 2007. It was so neat to get to go back for those that have been there before. But even if you hadn't been there, that track offered such a unique feel and appeal and race that it was no better way to start the Outdoor National Championship, I don't think.
No. For the amateur side of things, obviously all the pro guys, we already feel like we're one round in with Daytona being a points for us. So it was our second round, so we had two prestige rounds back-to-back. But as far as an amateur, there's no other way to talk about it. I think it's going to be the best racetrack we are on all year. I think it's going to be fun to track. That track had two lines in every corner. There was passing left to right. If you were faster than the guy in front of you, you were going to pass him. You had to just make one corner right, and you were going to buy him. You couldn't block on that track because there was two lines. And it was cool. And I'll tell you what, Randy from Underground, I was talking to him about it, and he was doing all the track work out there, and he goes, this will be the best track y'all race on all year. I'm like, dude, what about your place? It's such a cool track. He's like, yeah, I think my place is going to be fun, and everybody's going to love it. But there's no way I can make two lines in every corner like this. Like, this track is perfect.
Yeah.
But he's like, I think he's going to go home and try to slow his down a little bit and recreate some new lines to get two lines in every corner. I mean, it's legendary, and I'm sure everybody and most people know what I'm talking about. Is Jeremiah on his yellow quads 250R going just absolute pegged around the whole track and dominating. With how rough it got, him blitzing through the roughness was a memory I always had growing up. And I know people that came up to me and were talking to me about being back there and never been there, and they're like, they'd all seen the video of Jeremiah, and it was just that memory right there alone is just top notch on that facility, and shows how much place that goes. And like you said, the lineup of tracks this year, for the amount of rounds we have, only being a 10 or 11 round series, the amount of places we're going, Underground, Etchicani, Daytona, Redbud, Unadilla, Loretta's, the new Ironman track.
Mm-hmm.
All these facilities, there's some we've never been to. There's some we haven't been to in years, and I'm excited to go to them.
Well, I mean, there's what I counted. Let's see, if you count this, there are. Let's see, technically, we'll call Daytona 1. Then Muddy Creek will be 2, High Point 3, Ironman will be 4, 5 will be Sunset Ridge, 6 will be Spring Creek, 7 will be Unadilla, 8 will be Redbud. There are 8 outdoor national or 8 national tracks that have professional two-wheel motorcycle racing. And then, of course, the granddaddy, what I like to call a granddaddy of them all, Dirt Days at Loretta Lynn's, which is like the epicenter of racing, I think, as far as the amateur and the springboard motocross is concerned. So, you've got those 8 venues plus Loretta Lynn's, tied in with great places like Itchicani and Underground. I mean, it's just like I said, the most amazing schedule that I think we've ever seen. The only other one that I'm looking at here that we have not been to so far this year is Ironman Raceway, and I think that is going to offer up a rather exceptional bit of racing. Also, just knowing the dirt out there, seeing the track and how big it is, and what kind of flow it has, and then knowing the ATV crowd in Indiana just in itself, seeing tens of thousands of people come out and watch a woods race. I know they're going to come and watch the ATVs on that motocross track. Hopefully we get that many. I mean, that would be awesome to have a couple, 10, 20,000 people there for that race. But I mean, that particular venue, we couldn't have asked for a better new place to go to, I think, midway through the season at round number 5, because, with everything that we've already had, when we get to round 5 at the Ironman, if the crowd comes out and support like I expect it to, we're going to feel like superstars at this point, and like this is the dream season, man.
You hit the nail on the head. It's an awesome lineup. The 2 tracks that aren't national tracks that either Loretta's or an amateur dirt bike national don't go to are 2 premier tracks that I think the dirt bike nationals are actually missing. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a dirt bike national go to underground in the next few years. I'm telling you, this track is top notch, and it's going to be everybody's going to be stoked on that. We've already seen Etchicani, and then you got all the other ones you just listed. It's a spectacular year, and I'll tell you what, I'm stoked on it because every time we seem to go to a national track and a bigger track is where I seem to excel. So, me personally, yep. I see benefits from it.
That lineup couldn't be any better for anybody but you, man, because you're right, you do seem to excel at the big places like that, so that's awesome, Thomas. And like you say, man, the field of competition, the depth of talent, the talent pool this year is amazing. Just the surprises even we've got. Jeffrey Rastrella, we always knew he was a solid rider, but the advancements he's made this year, the surprise that we've got out of Nick Janusa, the consistency and the hard determination and riding that we've seen out of him so far, and even the Argentina, man. I've been kind of proud of Vital Kazanabe, man. I think that he could even be a little bit of a surprise for us in the future.
Oh, no doubt. You talk about Argentina, you talk about Vital. He just won the Pro-Am race and did a top 10 in the Pro. And you got I gotta say my Argentina rider that I have riding for my team, Nico Cavi, is coming up right there with them. It's turning into an international series with those 2 riders coming over. We're actually making a trip up from the far south, and they're stepping it up. It's a great year, and like you said, Janusa stepped it up. Jeffrey, we saw it at the end of last year, little bits of brilliance, and then he's honed in on it, and he is rolling fast. It's somebody else I have to really watch. Is that Jeffrey's always been a guy I had to watch, but I can kind of know I'm going to go by him and know that I just need to set him up and get going. He's not one of those guys I can just go by on a fly now. He's going to be there. He's going to fight back. And shoot, me and him had battles both motos at Etchicani, and he was on point. If both of us would have started up front with Jeffrey and not Jeffrey, but Joel and Chad, it would have been more of an interesting race up there. We just we both need to work on our starts a little bit. I've been talking to Jeffrey quite a bit, getting the mud natural things dialed in, and he's pumped on the season. So is everybody. It's gonna be a tight season.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm stoked. And Thomas, I know you got a lot of work to do. Tell Randy I said good luck this weekend, and thanks for everything that he's doing for our sport. I know that oftentimes that people don't get the accolades and the pats on the back that they deserve, but I definitely want to send that one down to him this weekend. I'll give him one whenever I head down to camp here in just a couple of weeks. But thanks for being a part of the show and helping us try to get this thing back up and started. Now, I had a rough winter myself this winter. My father passed away, and I had a few other things going on. But now that we're getting into the season, we got a lot of information. Thomas, I know that you're adamant about it. I'm going to be adamant about it. We're going to make this thing happen, and we're going to have a lot more quad radio. And Thomas, I hope that you're going to be involved with it a lot this summer too.
I plan to. I'm sorry to hear about your father passing. My condolences, and I'll be sure to let Randy know on the other side of things that. And I hope everybody sees him at all the races. I believe he's going to get all the races, help him get all the tracks dialed in so they're better tracks. So if you see him out there on a dozer and he's not running it, stop in and give him a big thank you. He deserves it. He's doing a lot for our sport with no desire to it. He's a dirt bike rider, and he just sees the potential in our sport and thinks we have places to go and wants to do great things. And so, yeah, tell him thank you and tell him to keep on. And he's not doing it for nothing. He is doing it for nothing, but we need our help to show that he's doing it for something. You know what I mean?
He's got a goal in mind. He's got a dream that he's trying to build, and I think that is awesome that he recognizes it. And again, but just awesome, great things happening. And Thomas, I'm glad that you can be a part of it at this juncture in your career too, man. Because if you think about it, dude, the wave's starting to build, and you might get a chance to ride it right out front, man.
I hope so, and like you said, I hope I can become part more of the Squad Radio, and we get this up there. I tell you what, I know everybody out there wants to get more media and more attention and hear what's going on behind the scenes of a lot of people, and I think you're the man to do it. And if you'll let me tag along, I'll be along to help out as much as I can with it. And I got a ton on my plate this year, but I'm looking forward to it. I want to make the sport grow. With me starting the team this year, I can't thank my whole team, Maxxis and Yamaha Moto Experts. The Max Yamaha Moto Expert team is just all three of those companies stepped up huge for me this year, and got me on the track, so I got to give a big shout out to them and everybody else that supports me. It's a great season, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to making the sport grow and doing it with all these people in the industry.
Sounds great. Thomas Brown, you are a icon, no doubt in my mind. I'm Rodney Tomlin, and this is Quad Radio.